Good afternoon. This is another installation of our interviews with parishioners at the Second Baptist Church, Second Chronicles magazine. Today we're fortunate enough to have Diane Du Bois. Diane, where were you born?
I was born right here in Atlantic City.
And what was your family like? Your upbringing, your brothers, your sisters, if any?
There were a total of six, including my mom and dad, 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 years apart. And we lived uptown. When I was younger, we lived on a street called Spring Lane. It was between Drexel and Connecticut Avenues. And then I remember when I was in the 6th grade, we moved on to right around the corner on Adriatic Avenue between Massachusetts and Connecticut.
So you attended Atlantic City Public Schools?
Yes.
What schools did you go to?
I went to, I'm dating myself, I went to the old Madison Avenue School. I went to New Jersey Avenue School because there was a fire at Madison Avenue School, so it only went up to the 5th grade. So the 6th grade, I did a year at New Jersey Avenue School. From there, I went to Central Junior High School for 7th and 8th grades, and then the Atlantic City High School.
When did you totally accept Christ? When did you start going to church, and then when did you finally accept Christ?
Well, as far as I can remember growing up, we always attended church. We were in church at least 5 out of 7 days.
Really?
Sometimes 6. We went to, when there were meetings, we went to church. There was Monday night service. There was YPI for the youth. When they had services for people coming out of town to preach, there was always something going on at church. So we were at church a lot.
Wow, that's interesting. So when did you finally accept Christ on your own?
After many false starts, I should say. Because growing up, we had to, and they would keep us on the altar until either we told them that we were saved, or they felt as though we were there long enough to be saved. Because it was rough with 2 brothers, and they were kind of rough. My sister was very submissive and passive. I was rough. I was a roughneck.
Really?
I like to show my brothers I was just as tough as they were, you know.
So you don't strike me as being that. I mean, you're so sweet, mild-mannered now.
I think they beat it out of me.
Now, the way you described going to church, was that Baptist, Pentecostal, or what?
For the most part, that was what we call holiness.
Holiness, okay.
Holiness.
I asked you earlier when we were talking, basically, what did you do for a living? But you told me you're fortunate enough to be retired now. So can you tell everybody, what did you do for a living?
I was a 1st grade elementary teacher here in Atlantic City.
And I definitely believe you, because when you went over my notes, you started telling me I didn't cross this T, I didn't dot that I. So what did you teach besides English?
I taught the fundamentals, language arts, literacy, math, social studies, science, health.
Now, the purpose of this interview mainly was for a trip that you took this past summer, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell everybody where you went, how did you do it? Because I know, like I said earlier, including myself, I would like to take that trip. So I really want to know, what did you do? What even made you want to go? You know, and how did you go about going?
Well, I've always had a desire to go to Africa. For a while, it seemed like my desire was more than anything else. I didn't know there was always something taking place to prevent me. So one of the things that we can do is to send out letters for sponsors.
Really?
Yes, that's one option.
Now, when you say send out letters to sponsor, who do you send them to? Like just
you can send it to family members, friends. If you think a business might sponsor you, yeah, anyone that you feel is receptive. I used some of my savings, and I used my income tax return for the most part.
How long did you stay in Africa? When did you go? How did you get there? What things did you do while you were over there? Who did you go with? I know I asked you a lot of questions.
This time, yes, you did. This time, we didn't stay that long. I think we stayed for 10 days. I would have loved to have stayed longer. It wasn't many of us for whatever reason. So I always say whoever went, those were the people that were supposed to go at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But including the pastor was his daughter Bria, Caroline Fauntleroy, James Presley, and myself. And we left here by 2. Bless his heart was kind enough to drive us to Washington, D.C. That's where we flew out of. I think it was Dulles Airport, which actually it isn't in Washington, it's Maryland. And from there we flew to Ethiopia to a place called Addis Ababa. From there we took another flight to Lilongwe.
How long was it from Dulles to?
Forever. Oh gosh. I can't I just remember, I think it was total between 13 and 17 hours.
Wow.
From Dulles to Lilongwe, Malawi.
So that's where you ended up in Malawi.
Yes.
Now, did you go to like South Africa or anything, or you just?
That
is South
Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, Southeast Africa. It's amazing. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of Africa, especially when I see the sunlight come up. I took so many pictures of daylight because I was just excited, so I was up early.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'd be up like 3 o'clock in the morning, just thanking God and waiting for the sunrise to come up so you could just see the beauty, just the beauty of the land and the skies is just awesome.
Really?
It's awesome.
Did you go into the bushland any, or did you?
No. We got to see some. We went on a couple of reserves, but and we didn't have the opportunity to go to Nairobi because of Kenya because of the unrest there.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically stayed for the most part in Blantyre. We visited the Baptist church where Pastor Covington took up the call, the missions call to pastor that church.
Now, explain to them who's Pastor Covington. For those
Victor Covington is the pastor. He came up under the auspices of Pastor Howard, if I'm correct, or between Pastor Howard and Pastor Hendricks. I think between the two.
Mm-hmm.
He now has his own place of worship in Albany, New York. He's good friends with, I think at one time he and Pastor McLaurin were roommates. Mighty man of God, mighty man of God. He has such a strong anointing on his life. So the church, if you saw it, it would, for me, it made me think of Victory. I don't know if you've been in Victory Presbyterian Church on Pennsylvania Avenue and Pacific Avenues. That's what it reminded me. But the people are just so humble and so kind. It's a very humbling experience, and I just urge, anyone and everyone to go. If you want to see missions work at its best, the people are needy. Not that we don't have needy here, but it's totally different.
Did you guys have prayer groups there, or did you do any actual physical work as far as the missions go? Like, what was it like a basic day there for you?
A basic day would be traveling from different schools, different churches to see what's in place, what is needed, some of the ministries and activities that are going on, meeting some of the teachers, looking at the conditions of the schools, the orphanages, just the people in general.
As far as things that you ate, what types of food did you eat? What was available to you?
The food was good.
Really?
The food was good. We had a sister from Blantyre. We met her a few days after being there, and she cooked for most of the duration that we were there. But, some things like, if it wasn't cooked, we couldn't eat it, of course. But they had food that reminded me of with spinach, green beans, rice.
You eat
the
more
meat was
vegetables
good.
than meats, or
Well, I do because I don't eat a lot of meat
Mhm.
anyway. So mostly I eat mostly fish and chicken. Once in a while I might eat some beef, but mostly fish and chicken.
and that was plentiful there.
So yes, we went to quite a few restaurants. We went up in the hills. Um, the roads are winding and narrow.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of times I called on Jesus.
Now, what were you in as far as transport? Were you in a bus or
It was a taxi.
taxi? Okay.
Taxi, yeah. A lot of roads were. Some of the roads were paved and some weren't, and.
Mhm. So you're winding around the road and like on a cliff, and you can look over basically.
Yeah, you can see the mountains. Oh.
So what were the hills?
It's
What were the
just
hills like?
breathtaking.
Really?
Breathtaking, and the work ethic of those people are amazing. Especially going up the hill. I don't care where you are, someone's always walking. It might look like it's in a desolate area. Someone's always walking. You always see people just walking and moving. And what they will do, the men will go up on bikes up the mountains. But on our way back, we would see them. They would have hay or whatever it is that they needed stacked up. And they're holding it and walking down the mountain. It's just awesome. They're so resourceful. They use everything within their means. They're not wasteful like we are. And they're just so respectful. It's
a lot different than here as far as.
Yes.
Did you get a certain feeling being, quote unquote, in the motherland? I mean, just.
I felt like I was home.
Yeah.
I really felt like I was home. And like I said, I think of Africa every day. I can't wait to return.
So you will go back?
I will definitely go back, God willing. I am going back.
Wow. Is there anything else you want to add about that trip?
I just encourage people to do missions, whether most definitely here, to take your giftings outside of these walls, to go to the uttermost parts of the world. If you are willing, God will bless you to do.
So it sounds like by you going on that trip, has it changed you any? Or
Yes.
in what way?
I don't put, I'm not so caught up in things anymore. This changed my perspective in that things aren't as important as I thought they were. It has taught me to totally cast my cares on God, whatever it is, from the least to the greatest. Leave it with Him and just wait on Him. Whatever process, whatever it is I'm going through, I know He's there with me. I don't have to cry about it. I'm not doubtful about it anymore. I'm at peace. I have a peace that truly passes understanding.
And how's the children there?
Oh my gosh. We went to this one school, and there were about 100 children in that classroom.
In one classroom?
Time, yes. At the time, the teacher wasn't in the classroom, and they just sat there. They just sat
A little different than the kids here, by you being in the school system, right? I mean.
When I'm in the classroom talking to another student, but I mean, these children, they just sat there quietly. And I said hello to the classroom, and they smiled, but they looked at when the teacher did come back in, they looked at the teacher. She said, "It's okay, you may speak."
Very disciplined.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's heartbreaking because I saw a couple of boys, as a matter of fact, with girls' shoes on. And they were just running and playing like it was nothing. But I mean, to have no shoes, girl shoes.
Wow.
You know? A lot of them had no shoes. A lot of them did.
So here, where our kids are wrapped around sports and things like that, that wasn't the case there. There was more education.
It was more education. Yes.
So it was more education and
I mean, when they had recess, I mean, they played with each other. They played with sticks. Whatever is available. They weren't caught up with, well, I don't know what to do because we don't have anything to play with.
right.
They just played.
Now, what was their dress attire in school? Do they have certain
They have to
uniform?
wear uniforms as well. So they have the blue and white uniforms like we do here. There are so many children, they have to go in shifts. They go in
Really?
2 shifts.
Now, do they change teachers or that same teacher
No,
teaching?
same teacher.
Wow.
Same teacher.
So that's a long day for the teacher, basically.
Yes.
Now, are teachers looked at different in Africa as we, different than how we look at teachers here, or are they putting into it in something high esteem?
No. They, from what I've seen, they're not caught up into status, because they're too busy trying to teach all of these students. So they don't have time for that.
Yeah. What was the dress attire of the average person there? Is it more?
They're dressed like we do.
Mhm.
They're dressed like we do. I even saw a brother with baggy pants. His he wasn't showing his butt,
Right.
but I said, look at that. I didn't see any showing the how can I finesse that? Well, they weren't showing their underwear.
Right.
They weren't showing their underwear. Very respectful. Very respectful. Always said hello.
Did you see like the stores that are here? Did you see those kind of stores there, or I mean, like the name
Yeah,
brand
they
stores?
had that's teasing. There's one called GameStop. He was teasing James, this one particular store. They were equivalent to, like, I guess you could say Target, Kmart, places like that. And this one store had this red velvet jacket, and as we were walking by, the pastor told James Presley, he said, you want that jacket.
Back to the schools. With the children in the class, was they different levels?
Yeah.
So
They
might
have to
like
be
first,
because
second,
you
third.
don't have, there's such a shortage of teachers. So even though this might say this is the 6th grade level, you still have levels within those levels.
Is it the same thing here where you go K through 12, and then from 12 you go to college? Is it a different structure?
No, it's set up like that. However, contingent upon where you are and the amount of teachers versus the amount of students, you may have maybe 1st and 2nd grade or 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in one classroom. Because there's just a lack of teachers.
Now, where teachers are paid a decent salary here, is it the same thing there?
No.
Nothing. Okay.
Oh no, nowhere near.
Really? So you really, I mean, not that teachers here don't have a love, because you honestly have to have a love to teach. That's one of my beliefs. I could be right or wrong, but I don't think everybody
As
can
far
teach.
as I'm concerned, you have to have a love for this. If you are there for the money, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. You have to love it, especially such as it is now, with more responsibility and more accountability. You have to love it.
I do believe that to be a teacher is a certain, because I know I couldn't be a teacher. There's no way. As soon as a kid got smart with me.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
Thanks be to God. God used to, he just shuts my mouth. Because there was a time when, I used to say, by the time I get over there to you, I strongly suggest you be on task. And then there were times when the Lord said, He wouldn't let me open my mouth. So I know it was God. I know it was God. Because I know what would come out would hurt that child's feelings.
Now, Donna,
And that would defeat the whole purpose.
you'd have to agree with me. As sweet as she is, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But there's another side to Diane.
It's the teacher's side.
We don't want to meet that side.
No. Listen, you know, I would say what I would have to say and then just get back on point. And the children would say, Miss D, you're so crazy. I said, thank you so much. Because they would see that change, but then they would see me come right back. You know, I try not to like dwell on it if I get upset. You know, because some children will make you angry. You know, but you can be angry and sin not.
How long did you teach?
Here, I taught 20 years.
Wow.
And I did some teaching elsewhere in Jersey.
Where in Jersey?
In Jersey City.
Okay. So, I mean, your total time of teaching is how long?
Is 25.
25 years. God bless you. That's,
Yes.
yeah, that's an accomplishment. That really is.
Thank you.
I see you at church every Sunday. And I'm just wondering what other missions are you doing in church? I know you're on ICE choir. You know, I mean, what else do you do? Or
The women's ministry. I'm also in another women's ministry. The women's ministry of Second Baptist, and then the women's virtuous women under the leadership of Nicola Knox.
who's that?
That's Rod.
Okay. How do you like being on the choir?
So I love it.
You guys are almost as good as our men's choir, by the way. No, I'm just
Thank you so much. You know, I'm just in awe of the men's choir.
Thank you. We appreciate that. It's not us though, it's God doing it.
Oh,
Seriously,
yes.
it definitely isn't us. If you guys knew how we started out.
Oh, yes.
Oh boy, that's a whole interview on its own. But we've come a long way with the grace of God. We really have. Well, Diane, is there anything else you'd like to add in this, or anything else you want to bring up, or anything you feel like you need to say?
You know, life is short, and as God blesses us, we need to bless others.
Yeah.
If you can go out of the country, please do so. If you cannot, go where you can go, but do the will of God. You know, let His light so shine.
Diane, we really thank you for your time and for your input, and God bless you and have a great day.
Thank you.
Yes.
God bless you all as well.
Okay. Yes.